first off, who are you?
Yo, what's good? My name is Shane Ramos. I'm a visual artist from South Yonkers, New York, and I'm currently based out of LA.
What got you into graphic design or art?
I think it's just, yeah, I think it's a natural progression when it comes to graphic design. Because when I was younger, I used to love drawing, sketching, painting. I mean, pretty much anything on the physical side of art.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hit like freshman year in high school, I really wanted to take this to a new notch. And I was like, yo, if I want to be the artist I strive to be, I need to just experiment, expand my talents.
Mm-hmm.
So doing so, I invested in like a $75 laptop off eBay. And I just day in, day out started to hustle and learn the whole program. And over time, I've probably been working on this for 4 or 5, maybe now even close to 7 years. So I originally just loved drawing and then it slowly increased to now doing digital artwork.
Well, since you mentioned like your early stages of your career, what do you think, or what do you say would be your inspiration then and now at the same time, or who was or still is your inspiration?
Yeah, back in the day when I was a kid, I feel like when it comes to inspiration, I thought anything that looked cool, because as like a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, I don't think you could really understand what inspiration is.
Yeah,
You look
definitely.
at something like, oh wow, that's amazing, and
Yeah,
you're
that's
still
cool.
trying to figure out. Yeah, you're still trying to figure out the connection of why that makes you what you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I understand the basis of it, and of course, I get inspired by the goats of the OGs of this art shit, which is Warhol, Basquiat, Dali, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I grow, the more I realize, as much as I love these artists, and I always try to study their work, the less my artwork becomes so personal. Because when you look at these people, you try to take little things of inspiration from them, and you look at your work, and it might seem pretty identical. And you're like, yo, what am I doing wrong? And it's in a sense, if you just always compare and look at it as reference, you're not going to make art true to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have all these references. So as I grow older, I try to gain inspiration from other sides of life, whether it's actual life, just going through shit, seeing shit when I walk down the road, or other sides of art, which is maybe architecture, fashion, photography, so now I just like to surround myself with people, artists in different genres, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Well, now since you mentioned like Salvador Dali and all those artists, how would you define your style? If you could.
I think what people know me most by is my collage work. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely a visual artist because I don't necessarily consider myself a graphic designer, even though I use a program when I need to. It's not my 100% basis of everything I do, and whether I do it digital or on a canvas on cardboard is just the medium in which I use it. So, yeah, I think, sorry, what was the question again?
How would you define your style?
Oh yeah, so it's pretty much just collage for right now. People look into my work. Yeah.
Well, since you mentioned like the collages and basically your style in general, I want to get into the whole 30-day t-shirt challenge that you did a bunch of months back, if I'm not mistaken. Like, what was the idea behind it, and like what sort of got you to do that and motivated you or inspired you to start that challenge? Did you ever expect it to get to that point where some of your designs getting sold out and all that just from basically a challenge, a simple challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did not expect any of the support I got, 'cause, I mean, I think most artists going forward, they want to do all these crazy things and the way it pans out is different. So perfect timing feels like it's too late. So at that moment, I thought, even when I was 16, I really want to do this clothing thing, I think anyone who loves hip hop and loves art wants to do clothing, and that's just the natural progression of everything. So I've been trying to make a brand since I was like 16, and November of last year was the time I thought was best to roll out this challenge. My whole idea behind it was I really wanted to make better merch for a cheaper cost, because honestly, when I look at merch nowadays, no shots to anyone specifically, but a lot of it feels lazy. A lot of it feels, I think there's more that could be brought into the merch game.
Yeah, definitely.
And I brought upon myself to challenge myself. Hey, can I put out 30 fire designs in 30 days? And within that, when I went into it, I had probably 2 weeks of me to get ready for the challenge. And maybe around 10 out of 30 designs I had prior, I made into a design for a t-shirt. But everything else I made either throughout the process or the night of. So it was definitely a challenge. I remember back in the day, I used to do a post a day challenge on my Instagram. And it kind of reminded me like that, because there's times where, the next day I got prepared right after I dropped the current day. So I had to work all night and make sure I have the post for the next day. So it was definitely challenging, but at the end, I think everyone appreciated it, and I was super humbled and grateful for all the support I got.
Since we talked about that, what would you say it's like? What would you change in the community if you could do so?
Oof, that's a that's a big question right there. What would I change in the community overall?
Yeah, if you, I don't know, if you became like influential or something, and would decide like, well, let's change this, and you got basically the power to do so, like make your followers change all that. What would you change? Because I think in the community we have quite a lot of problems when it comes to, I don't know, the greed or the being cocky. Like a bunch of designers are cocky since they got to a certain point, or they had some sort of clients that were big and all that. So yeah, that's kind of the question.
Yeah, so I think there's a whole bunch of ways to tackle that question, to be honest, because I think our community is very new. I've been doing this since 2016, 2017, and over time I've learned a lot of things have changed, even as of recent. So less of the people of the community, but more so the corporate side of the community, I think needs to be changed. Because prior, when they would approach you for any work in the corporate world, when it comes to like record labels and all that, they would be like, hey, this is a price I want to work with you with, and I would need this, this, and that. And then you still get a paycheck. But nowadays, people approach you and they're like, hey, can I get like 4 concepts? And I'm going to ask 5 more artists about 4 more concepts. And if you get picked, you get paid. And honestly, when it comes to me, I don't do that shit, just because I'm not going to work my ass off for something I'm not going to get paid for.
Yeah,
I'm in the business. Yeah, exactly. So I think I value my art. And I think other artists, they see that as an opportunity, but more so, I think you gotta look at it in a grand scale of things, that you need to protect the community you're in. And I think the corporate world, they are, pimping the community out, for the lack of better words.
Yeah.
And I think we all got to realize that our worth, of course, opportunities are a good way to get in, but I think without the integrity, it means nothing,
Yeah.
So I think we as a community to really start realizing our worth as artists. And even if a big name comes at you, it's like, all right, well, where's the paycheck? And of course, everything is not about money. But when it comes to them using it for their own marketing, they want to use it for merch, they want to put on billboards, you damn sure, I'm about to get my bread from that,
Yeah, of course.
So. But this corporate world of things, it's fucked. I said, to put it quite quite frank, they don't work the way humans work, as far as it should be based on respect, respect, and everything should go smooth. But if you work with these labels and all that, and depending on like the campaigns you work with, you realize that they're gonna hit you with the contract, and if you don't read the contract,
eventually you will.
You know,
exactly.
So I think like the business of making money is never smooth, and it's never for you. If you have something that could help them or that they want from you, they're gonna try to make it for their interest,
Yeah, so definitely.
That's just now you're seeing the other side of being a business owner.
Yeah.
And the bigger you get, the more clients you get, the more DMs you get, the more you realize like, oh shit, you start really deciphering who's who, even from a quick message. You can have some people like yo, and I'm like, all right, well, I kind of know where he's on, even from that. Maybe
exactly, not all the time, exactly.
But you start to really break down how people hit you up. And also, I'd say, I'm not sure if you do have it right now, but make sure you put an email in your bio, because
I wanted to do that, to be honest, because
that brings us a bit of professionalism.
Yeah, exactly.
So if people were to hit you up via DM, you kind of change the mood of the conversation. Yeah. And by doing so, I think it just helps you overall as an artist. Everything you're saying, it's super valid. But this is another thing of being a business owner. You have to take the good with the bad. And
of course.
All of it being said, there's gonna be way more bad than good.
Well, now to get to segue into a more happy subject, I would say. What is your favorite movie/anime of all time?
Not gonna lie though, I don't really watch too many movies, but I'll give you a few shows I fuck with.
That's good as well.
Recently, Atlanta just had a new season. Atlanta super fire, with Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Super talented. Fuck, what else? It's just so much right now. I can't. Damn, I'd stick with Atlanta for right now. Okay. I think it's super good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, what would be your advice for beginner designers?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to say the same thing. Oh, make sure you just work, get better, and work on yourself. Don't pay attention to likes. And I 100% agree with that. But also, I think what Nipsey Hussle said is perfect timing feels like it's too late. And you think you should be at a certain point right now, but maybe right now isn't the best point in a grander scheme of things. So I think whenever shit happens, it's going to happen on time, even though it feels late. Yeah. And when you grow as an artist, I think the main one focus as an artist is to grow as an artist. And of course, you want to grow your social media, you want to get more attention to your work, but that won't happen truly if you don't work on yourself as an artist. So I'd say experiment. Don't stick with one thing. Like really, you use all the cards on the table. I think if you're a graphic designer, start drawing. If you're drawing, paint. If you're painting, do sculptural art. I think art is so big and it's so broad. So I think you can always enhance your skills by picking up another trade. And I think over time you just start seeing progress. And I think as an artist, you gotta realize too that when you get more so into this and your intermediate stages of a designer or artist, you gotta realize that you're not just the person behind the art, but you're also the businessman or businesswoman. You're also your cheerleader. So within that, you have to be multifaceted at that point. So okay, you gotta think about, how do I market my work? How do I still keep the integrity of me liking the art? And how do I keep myself happy through all this time? So like I said, you're going to have a lot of highs and you're going to have a lot of lows in any business. But definitely. You're going to have a lot more lows and highs. So if you really, really love this shit, you're going to stick with it. And maybe art isn't for you. Maybe you want to do this and you see a couple of people who inspire you and you're like, I'm going to try this. And 2 months in, you're like, yo, that's not for me. Maybe it's not, but maybe you also need a break. So I think there is no cutoff deadline of what you want to be in life. And I think if you want to do something, you continue doing it. And if it's meant for you, you realize that it can never leave your life. So I think just consistently try to just progress as a normal human being. And through that, I think you'll be where you want to be at.